Now it's time for sealant. We're gonna lift this up, and I have to reach in here and put some sealant around the top of that drain. You can use silicone. I'm using a polyurethane sealant. It's for roofing, and it's flexible, and I've been using it for years. It's my favorite stuff to use on here. Get it at the local box store. But it's a roofing and flashing polyurethane sealant. Okay, so I'm still holding this up. I'm double checking. I have just a little bit of underlayment creeping in on me. I'm pushing it back. Okay, so I have no underlayment messing with me now. All right. Found a little hair from my towel, pulled that out. So if you look in there, I have a good layer of sealant around there, covering the holes. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and push this down flat. And work that out. Okay, thanks Taylor, I'm good. Now what I can do is I can look in here and I can find that mark that I did before we put the underlayment liner in. You see this, I got this mark right here. So I know that there's a hole somewhere in that area right there. So if I were to find that hole, I can feel it through the liner. It's right there. Okay, so I'm going to take this and line it up with that hole right there. So that should have me lined up around the place. So with a small screwdriver, identify the hole. I'm just going to puncture that liner right there. Okay, so I see how much play I still have. Like, you can't trust these random marks here that we just kind of identified things with. If I look, I notice my mark here, and I can push this over and get it lined up just perfect. I'll identify it with this screwdriver. Yep, it's right there. I didn't have to go lifting the liner up to look. And I can add this other bolt in here. So now that these two main guys have lined everything up, I can go through and puncture all my holes. You can use a nail or a little awl. I'm just kind of breaking the liner a little bit with this pointed screwdriver. I have to tell you the time and stress that I've saved over the years by just the little tricks, the little duct tape over there, cutting the liner before the fabric, cutting the fabric before we install, and making those marks has saved me a lot of time and stress over the years. And the reason I can tell you those tips is because I've been under the liner trying to cut the underlayment. I've been under the liner trying to get those holes cleared out. I've been under the liner trying to find those holes. So over the years, I've just adapted these little tips and tricks to save time and relieve stress. So as you can see, I just got it started with this drill, but I'm gonna go through and hand tighten the rest of these guys. Now, if you'll notice slowly that the liner will bulge a little bit as I start to tighten this. I know it's hard to see on camera, but it's going to start to bulge just a little bit, and that means the sealant is pushing out. You see this liner moving? Right here it'll move. It's starting to bulge out because the sealant is coming out from underneath, and that's when I know I have a good seal. And if you'll notice, I didn't go through and just tighten one down as hard as I could. You want to just do it just like it was a gasket on a car. You would just take your time and go around the house, tighten them down. Now I want to give you a little tip. I didn't have to show you this tip because I ran into that problem, but if you were screwing down one of these bolts and let's say it bottomed out and there was something jammed in the hole and it couldn't go down any deeper, and you had a little bit of gap between the bottom of the screw and the top of this plate, you can simply just put a couple washers in there, back the screw out, put a couple washers on there, and then screw it down tight all the way. It's not the end of the world. I always have those washers kind of on hand in my truck when I do that. So, all right, so those guys are all done tight. I'm gonna take my razor knife now, and I'm just gonna come through here and cut real close on this. Okay, so this guy's all ready to go. And then usually what I'll do is I will come through here and just give me one of these guys. Wipe off this excess. All right, that's it. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this out, and it's once again, it's muddy and messy in here, so I'm gonna grab a shop vacuum and I'm gonna shop vacuum out all this mud and grime.